This is a tutorial of how to use the Vibal eTextbooks on your iPad. So the first thing that you do to access the Vibal eTextbooks is to go to the iBooks icon. So tap the icon, and there you'll see all of the Vibal eTextbooks available for your school. So you have all of the subjects there: English, math, social studies, science, etc. So if there's a textbook that you want, just tap on the cover of that textbook. So for instance, I'm studying math. I just tap on the cover of the math textbook, and it immediately opens on that textbook. To turn the pages, I can flip it, or I can tap the pages. If you don't like this orientation, you can also shift the orientation to a landscape orientation, and the text adjusts. So I can go back to the pages. Now, you see here a certain image that's a bit small, whether it's in the landscape or the portrait orientation. So there are ways that you can increase this image, the size of this image, just by double tapping it. Then you have that image there on the page. To increase the size, you just reverse pinch. You can even do it this way, shifting orientations, and you can see it better. So if you want to go back to the original page, you can just tap on top. Then there's the Done button there, and when you click that or you tap that, it goes back to the original page. Now, let's say I'm done studying my math textbook and I want to check out the other textbooks, or I want to study another subject. So I just click on the Library tab here, upper left-hand corner, and then I go back to my bookshelf. We can check out biology, and it brings you to the textbook of biology. Now, there are other functions in the Vibal eTextbook. For instance, you find a word here as you're reading that you don't understand, like this word, paradoxical. There's actually a dictionary function that allows you to see the meaning of paradoxical. So I'll just put my finger there, okay? And when I do, there's a menu that comes out. I just pick the dictionary, and now I have the meaning of the word paradoxical. So it's very helpful for those vocabulary words that a student doesn't understand. Now, apart from that, there are also other buttons on the upper right-hand corner that you can use. For example, you have the brightness button here. So let's say this is too bright for you, you can make it a bit darker just by dragging it. Or if it's too dark for you, you can make it a bit brighter, as bright as you can. Okay. Aside from that, you can also change the font size. So when you click on that, you can change the font size. You can make it bigger by clicking on this. So it's much bigger now, easier to read, or you can make it smaller by clicking on that. If you don't want this font, you can change the font too. So now it's Times New Roman. If you want to use Georgia, then change the font. You can also use the sepia function if you want the background colored, or you can turn it off. You can also search for words. Now, let's say you read this textbook before and you remember that in one part there is a mention of the word hypothesis, but you're not sure where it is. So you can click on this, that's a search icon, type in the word hypothesis. Okay, click search, and it shows you all of the places in this book where that word appears. So let's say you remember, oh yeah, it's in the first chapter, I think it's around page 10, so this could be it. So I click on that, and it brings me to that actual page. Now let's say this is an important page for me, so I want to bookmark it. And to bookmark it, I simply click on this tab here, and then there's a red ribbon that means that page is bookmarked. Now, right now, I am on chapter 1, but let's say I want to go to another chapter, another part of the book. So I can click here on the upper left-hand corner on the outline button, and it shows me the outline of the book. So let's say I'm on chapter 1, but I want to go to chapter 2, how does mankind benefit from biology and biotechnology? I just click on this, and it brings me directly to chapter 2, the first page of chapter 2. Now below here, you also see a page navigator. So I'm on page 22. Let's say I want to go to page 45. So I just drag this until I reach page 45. And I'll leave it there. Okay. Now, on this page, you'll see that there are also other highlighted words. These highlighted words actually have links outside the book. So these are external links. You're going to need an internet connection to access these links. So for instance, this word here, bathysphere. I don't really know what bathysphere is, but maybe if I click on this link, I'll find out what it is. So when I click on that link, you have this window that opens. It asks, do you want to leave iBooks, and open this link. If you click on open, it'll bring you to the actual link, bathysphere. So this is a Wikipedia entry, and this is where I learn all about what bathysphere is. If it's small, then I can choose to use the reverse pinch function. I can even change the orientation so it's easier for me to read. I can pinch it so that it fits the page exactly, and I can read. Now let's say I'm done with this page. I'm done reading the Wikipedia article. How do I go back? I simply click this button, and I tap on the iBooks icon. When I do, it brings me directly to the page that I left, and I can resume reading my book. So let's check out another textbook. This is the English book. Now, there are other features in this textbook. For instance, you have exercises here, like this one, sharing insights. Now, what you can do is you can use a notes function in order to try to answer these questions. For instance, this question, do you think Susanu's complaint is reasonable? So you click on that. Again, this menu comes out. Click on the note button, and then you can type in your answer. Okay, when you're done typing in your answer, click anywhere on the page and your note is saved. So you can go through all of these items, and as a student, you can answer them. So as a teacher, you can ask your student to go through all of these items, answer them using the notes function. So this is for number 2. So let's say you ask your students to answer all of these items, and after they do, you can put them together in groups and ask them to share their answers. How do they read their answers? Then they can just click on that small post-it, and then they can share this answer with the rest of their group mates or with the rest of their classmates. You can use that function, the notes function, also for objective exercises. For example, here. So what I did here, let's say I'm the student. I already answered this exercise using notes. So the exercise is about analogies. I answered watchman, guard, traveler. My answer would be tourist. Okay. East, west, south. Oh, that's for the north. Okay, and so on and so forth. And again, if the students answer with the notes function, then you can ask them to share it with a partner or with a group, and then they can discuss their answers further. Now, you see here that page, also on this page, you have that symbol. Okay. So aside from the web links that are linked to a word, there are also these parts in the eTextbook that signal you when there's another external link. So if you want to see what that says, okay, It says, enhance your comprehension skills with the help of media by accessing the web link at ilearn.vibalpublishing.com. So, in the event that your classroom has internet access, your students can also click on this and it'll bring them to another website. So it'll bring them to ilearn.vibalpublishing.com, which is the book site for this textbook. And in that book site, they can see the other resources that come with each lesson of the textbook. For instance, in Lesson 2, there's a link to a page where students are helped to understand voice pitch and learn how to control it. If you click on that link, it'll bring the students to this page. And this is an additional resource that the students can read in order to understand the lesson better. Aside from the external links and exercises, students and teachers can also access different checkup quizzes or unit tests. So, in Unit 1, these are the available unit tests for the concepts or the subjects that are discussed in that unit. So for instance, I want to see the unit test on identifying sentence and sentence fragments, and it's going to come out here. And students can answer this quiz on the website itself. So, fragment, sentence. When answers are submitted, there's immediate feedback to the student telling him which items he got correct and which items he didn't get correctly. He can answer the exercise again if he wants to make sure that he gets all of the items perfectly. So there are other ways that you can use your iPad, and Vibal actually provides other resources that you can use. For instance, you can check out the e-learning site of Vibal. And if you do, you'll find that there are 3 hubs there: iLearn for students, iTeach for teachers, and iGuide for parents. And you can check them periodically for new content that we add, such as articles and recommendations and discussions and also games. Now, if you're a teacher, you can also check out the Facebook page of iTeach, the digital hub for teachers. So we provide here a lot of links, and we invite comments and discussions from teachers. We can give you tips like this one. This is a link to middle and high school iPad apps that you can use in your classroom. And generally, it's a place where we can talk and discuss. And again, if you're a teacher, you can also check us out on Twitter. This is our Twitter account, Vibal_iTeach. You can follow us there. And we tweet news about education, issues, and you can also discuss there. So these are other places that you can find us, and these are other places and ways by which we can help you use the iPad to your maximum advantage. So I hope this short tutorial helps you use your Vibal eTextbooks better so that you can maximize teaching and learning in your 21st century